Hi, you look friendly and trustworthy. Oh, you startled me. Were you hoping to buy something from me? Sorry, but I'm not a merchant. I'm out here traveling in search of true love. I'm single and ready to mingle, but my love of monsters scares people away. Speaking of, did you know that octoroks can drown even though they're octopi? Only water octoroks survive the plunge. That's actually pretty cool. I thought you were going to be like a Yiga clan member, but that's really cool. I really wish you had a side quest or something like that. But anyway, yeah. Hello, everybody, here to you, and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. In today's video, we are finally going to be checking out this mysterious Kilton that we've heard oh so much about across our adventure. So, starting off our adventure in admittedly a bit of a weird place, because we're not too far away from Terrytown, and this is nowhere near where we need to be. But I came across that one lady, and her dialogue was pretty interesting, so after that, we're going to jump cut over to the stable way off in the distance over there. Now we've arrived in the Isakala stable, so we're going to check out a couple things here. So, first of all, let's talk to you. Hello. I've been on patrol duty lately. The name's Haas. It's gotten dangerous around here lately. You think so? Yes. Recently I've been hearing about a suspicious guy named Kilton. He runs a shop called Fang and Bone. They say he goes around pushing some kind of cart night after night. He's been making people around here uncomfortable with his suspicious and otherworldly activity. Do you know Kilton? Yes, I do. What, you've heard something? Well, if you see any suspicious people, please tell them what they look like in detail. Really, if you see this Kilton character, please tell me all the juicy details. I'm counting on you. A shady customer. Interesting. What do you have to say, buddy? Hello. Welcome to Isakala Stable, the premier stable of the East. By the way, good sir, the outside is crunchy while the inside is chewy. Take one bite and your energy will go through the roof. Go on, try one of our Akala buns. They're a delicacy, straight from the Isakala stable. Sounds yummy. Thank you so much. Oh, one thing to note. Akala buns go bad fast since they're made of fresh ingredients. So you'll have to eat it here. That way we can ensure its quality. Thank you so much. That'll be 10 rubies. Thanks for the business. Now then, close your eyes open and open your mouth wide. Now just munch and crunch and down the hatch it goes. Okie dokie, quick post-commentary note to explain what this actually does, because I did a terrible job when I was recording this. So, the Akala buns have a random chance of giving you temporary stamina, but the effects are random, so it's not always going to appear. But the really funny thing about this is we don't actually get to see what the food looks like in this game, but in Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, it's made from 4 tireless frogs, and it greatly resembles dubious food. Colorful leaves gently falling, a fort that fell to the great calamity. Unspeakable sorrow surrounds this landscape. That painting, I'm not sure how I feel about that one. It's pretty, don't get me wrong, the colors are really nice, but I feel like the waves could be just a little bit better. I can't really be more specific than that, though. I'm not a good art critic, but from a distance it looks a lot better, though. Yeah, it's a pretty good painting. I'm not a good art critic. I can't be more specific than that. So now that we've arrived at Skull Lake, it has to be nighttime for this to work, but on the right side of this lake is the shrine that we took care of all the way back and when we first came into this area. But on the left eye, which is way down here, we can see the outline of the skull formation down there. This is the one that we've heard oh so much about. Oh, it's just a Hylian. Who are you? Me? My name is Kilton. I suppose you're here because you heard I was opening a monster shop, and you wanted to see for yourself. Monster shop? Yes, I'm opening a monster shop called Fang and Bone, but I'm still preparing for my grand opening. Here's my business card. Fang and Bone, come see old Kilton for the most monstrous deals in all of Hyrule. I'm gonna need that card back. It's the only one I have. Anyway, are you into monsters? I like them enough. Oh, how much do you like them? I adore monsters. I love monsters more than you do! Alright, oh, sorry, I did it again. I just love the field of monster research so much that I decided to open a shop all about monsters. I call it Fang and Bone. I travel all around Hyrule in search of rare and exciting monster parts, but I'm not sure which village I should visit next. Kakargur Village or Hatanor Village, though Ritur Village and Zora's Domain are also good options. I suppose I could go all the way to Gerudo Town or Lurline Village, but Lekakala is so much closer. Warg! I'm so excited I can hardly contain myself. I can't just sit around while there are monsters to be studied. I'm off. I'm sure we'll meet again in some village during the night. Fare thee well. I love Kilton so much. He's one of my favorite characters in this entire game. He reminds me of Baturo from Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. I won't spoil much about what happens in that game, but he just reminds me of that. I love Kilton. So, Kilton will show up in all those towns that he mentioned, and on screen right now I'm going to be showing all the exact locations you can find them in each of those towns, but we're going to be doing this in the Magical Land of Alternate Save file, because most of these villages we haven't actually seen for ourselves yet, so just keep in mind that this will indeed contain spoilers for towns we haven't seen yet. So if you don't want to see those towns yet, then skip to the timestamp that you'll see on screen, and this is the one that we're going to be using because we've already seen this town before. And with all that in mind, we have now arrived over in Terrytown. So, we can see, where is it? Terrytown is way off in the distance over there. And I'm going to be heading way down here. Because we can see Kilton's shop illuminated off in the distance underneath the bridge. And I love this so much. So, yeah, the exact location, as we saw during the montage, during that segment, as we saw during the montage, the exact location can be a little bit strange. So if you're just wandering around freely in this area, it might be a little bit hard to find a Kilton under the bridge. Just know that a Kilton will always be in the same places, so don't worry that he's going to show up randomly and you have to find the exact town he's going to be in. He's always going to be in the same places, so you don't have to worry about that. Fang and Bone only open at night. I believe these signs are here too. I don't remember if they're here during the day. But the sign at the top of Kilton's store, it's really fun. In Hylian, it translates as Savage Swaps, which is pretty amusing. But anyway, now let's talk to Kilton once again. Oh, it's just you. You startled me. A monster shop is now open for business. Seeing as how you're a first-time customer here at Fang & Bone, our first order of business will be converting your monster parts to Mon. The lack of capitalization on R bothers me so much. It shouldn't, but it does. What is Mon? Mon is a currency I invented to destabilize the market and fight the establishment. Just kidding. There's no establishment in Hyrule. I just love monsters so much that I turned them into money. Here's the deal. If you bring me monster parts, I'll exchange them for Mon. I'm the only business in Hyrule that accepts Mon as payment. Pretty exclusive, eh? Anyway, you can spend your Mon on various types of monster gear that I've created based on my research. Another thing. I've always developed my new monster gear, so remember to check back in between your adventures. So let's exchange the monster parts that you've had for Mon. Oh, thank you very much. So now, what will you exchange for Mon? So, monster parts are going to be used for... we're going to exchange monster parts and things like that. Basically, the more powerful the enemy, the more valuable it's going to be. So that's something that's going to be very well worth mentioning. What do I want to get rid of? A lot of these are good for other materials, but how much will we get for the choo-choo jelly? 156. Okay, that's pretty good. So we'll exchange some of that. We're basically going to be fast-forwarding this part through the rest of here while I take care of the rest of these. One thing that I want to say is that I definitely want to try to avoid giving away the stuff that we get from Guardians, because we're going to be needing that for stuff in the Ecology Research Tech Lab, so I definitely want to try avoiding that as much as I possibly can. Thank you for converting your monster parts into Mon. Now then, how can Fang and Bone meet your monstrous needs today? Spend some Mon. Da 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 da! It's been a while, but I've developed a new piece of monster gear. I call it the Zolfos Mask. Those are fossils can really be a pain to deal with when you're injured. So when you think you're sleeping, they attack you without a moment's notice. Some of those scared snakes can even use camouflage to blend into their surroundings. But if you wear the Zolfos Mask, excuse me, this voice is hard to keep up with, they will think you're the one, and they'll ignore you. Your current balance is 477 Mon. What monster gear would you like to buy? So, the exact gear you can get in this place will depend on how many Divine Beasts you've gotten. So, this is all that we have right now. I actually have a lot of stuff. Wow. This is all stuff that we can get a one mop here. Not worth it to buy it here, but we can get a one mop, and that makes me super happy. Okay, so the big thing that you want to keep in mind is the masks. So these masks will help you blend in with monsters and things like that, so they're going to be very useful for when you're trying to get through areas with a lot of powerful monsters and things like that. So it's definitely useful. The monster Birdos are also really cool. They don't really sell a whole lot of Birdos and Saddles in this game, so that's pretty interesting. For defeating one Divine Beast, you'll have access to the Spring-Loaded Hammer and the Moblin Mask. After defeating 2 of them, the Zophos Mask opens up for you, as well as the Monster Brittle and the Monster Saddle. Defeating 3 Divine Beasts will give you access to a Lino Mask. Now, the Lino Mask may seem useful because it may seem like it'll protect you from Linos, but it's not worth it at all because it only protects you for a short amount of time. And by the time you get out of there, you might as well just be on horseback anyway, and most Linos are going to be in places where you're going to be on horseback. So the Lino Mask does not protect you forever, so it's not really all that worth it. But the really cool ones are easily the ones that you get after you defeat all 4 Divine Beasts. You can get the Dark Hood, the Dark Tunic, and the Dark Trousers. These just look so awesome. We basically get to turn into Dark Link. We can't get this, though. At least not on our regular playthrough, because we've only defeated 2 Divine Beasts, so it's going to be a little while before we can actually use this. But I definitely will be getting this later in our adventure. And one resetting of the capture card later, because I ran out of memory, I decided that well, first of all, I should mention that we are definitely going to be buying everything in Fang and Bone over the course of our Let's Play. We're not going to get everything today, because it's very expensive and I don't have nearly enough monster parts to be able to buy everything, but I will be buying arguably the most important part you can get from Fang and Bone. The spring-loaded hammer. But can't because the inventory is full. That was so much effort. It's a good idea to take this opportunity to get a picture of Kilton. Are you cowering? Oh, I'm sorry, Kilton. I love you, buddy. I mean, just look at him. He's so adorable. Now we can get the spring-loaded hammer. This is the stupidest weapon ever, but it's honestly one of my favorites. Alright, so with that in mind, I think I know a good enemy we can test this on. Yep, we're gonna find a Lino with the spring hammer. This is one of the most horrible ideas I've ever had, but it's gonna be totally worth it. So, the spring hammer is weird. So, it should act like a two-handed weapon, but it's not. It's like just a regular. Oh no, my pony! You will pay for that. Okay, so yeah, the spring hammer it's very weak. Like, we've already attacked the Lino a couple times already, and it's just barely done damage. But the big idea behind it is that I believe on the 4th attack, the hammer is meant to launch the opponent. So it's good for knockback damage, but not great for anything else. It's more of like a gag weapon that's not really meant to be taken seriously. But that being said, it can still be somewhat useful. So we're definitely going to take this time to get the Hyrule Compendium picture for this thing. Because what other opportunity are we going to get to do this? I was trying to get a picture of the hammer. Okay, we're gonna get out of here. We've not really done any damage to this stupid thing, so we are gonna get out of here while we can. Where's my pony? It's over there. So in all reality, that probably wasn't the best enemy to demonstrate the spring-loaded hammer with, but we're gonna place it up on our wall because we definitely earned this thing. Just look at it. It's a stupid hammer. It's like one of the dumbest weapons ever, and that's why I love it so much. Okay, so with all that being said, we are going to go ahead and return to the East Akala stable so that we can take care of that side quest. Wow, rude. This guy just literally shoved this guy out of the way so he can get into the stable first. raining into the night, it seems. You got information about Kilton? Allow me to take a look. I see. How strange. Seriously, I can't thank you enough. This will certainly help me hunt him down. Really, I must thank you somehow. And we get a silver ruby. Well, I must return to my mission now. Farewell. And I don't think we get any more information on that later. I don't know if we... This guy has a skyward sword symbol on his mask. On his helmet. Whatever that is. That is a really cool attention to detail. And his mustache and beard are amazing. Can I be this guy when I grow up? Alright, so I was incorrect. This guy actually does say a few more things about Kilton. Sir! Kilton, I've finally seen you. I wonder what kind of stuff Kilton's Fang of Bones shop sells. Fangs? Bones? Evil fangs for evil! The more I think about it, the more it gives me the creeps! Alright, so, you know, speaking of Kilton, so... the thing about my voice acting when it comes to characters like this is that it's mostly just off the top of my head improv, how I decide to voice a character. And I don't know what I was thinking when it came to Kilton, because I didn't want to give him like an evil voice, even though he's like a monster and things like that. I wanted him to sound kind of monster-like, but not menacing. So that's the reason why I made him sound like this. But making him sound like that kind of makes him sound like Dr. Evil. I had never seen those movies, but I've seen enough clips of them to kind of know some of the more popular references. But so now when I'm thinking about Kilton, I'm imagining him saying that line where he's like, I only have one simple request, and that's to have sharks with frickin' laser beams attached to their heads. Okay. That's probably not an appropriate movie to reference during Breath of the Wild, but it's that's just something that's been on my mind for the past couple minutes.